We are moving to coming home to the region of North America, CONCACAF region. And for all you international viewers who are watching this ISB podcast, I have to say you will learn something about the U.S. men's national team. We apologize for those of you who don't really want to know about our team, but we must tell you about it because I apologize for the state that it's in right now. But it was a pretty good week, Roy, for some of our players because Mr. Christian Pulisic of the U.S. men's national team and Mr. Weston McKennie both had goals, which brings us to one of the biggest mysteries that has ever been created is the U.S. men's national team, Christian Pulisic, Weston McKennie. This is like the conundrum. It's the conundrum that can never be solved, Roy.
It's pretty interesting. You apologize to people who don't care to listen about the U.S. national team. I don't think anyone cares about the U.S. national team right now. This team is so disappointing. It's so gut-wrenching to watch them play. But I will say, did you watch, what was it? It was during the Champions League broadcast after the AC Milan game. They brought on Christian Pulisic.
Yeah.
To talk to the studio host.
Yes.
Henri,
yes.
You saw this?
Yes,
Henri
I did.
is sitting there, just kind of looking at his notes, and then they open up the floor for the room to ask questions. They look at Henri to ask questions to Pulisic, and he goes, "I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't have any questions for this man." And that kind of, the fact that, here's the thing. He just finished losing a Champions League match where he scored a goal, where he should be disappointed, where the topic of the day should be the Champions League. And they're talking about the national team and the coach and how does he think the players are doing on the national team. The national team isn't doing well right now. These players need to step it up. Henri's reaction was right. Henri's reaction was exactly what most of the world is feeling towards this national team and the fact that people keep asking about it. There's nothing interesting about this national team right now.
Yeah, but so what I want to say about this is, look, these two guys had a fantastic week for their clubs. And we saw the Christian Pulisic that, with the scoring for Milan last weekend, scoring this week in the Champions League. And he's basically one of Milan's best players this season. I mean, to be frank, like he's the one taking the penalty. He's one of their best players, after Rafa Leao, and basically it's his show in a certain degree. And Weston McKennie had a very good game. So what I'm saying is, where is this on a consistent basis? And where is this for the national team? Both of those things I think are needed to be asked.
I don't see Pulisic's club career as being drastically different from his national career. I think, if anything, his club career has been far more disappointing than his national team career. In both sides of the equation, he's been injured often. I would say considerably more on the club side of things. On both sides of the equations, he has matches where you look around the room, if you're watching at a viewer party, you want to ask people, wait, is Pulisic on the field? I can't tell if he's on the field. There are those games, and that happens way more frequently than it should on both the club and the national team level. Tides are shifting this season. It looks
like he's going to say
more consistent.
100%. You have to admit he's been more, but he's been more consistent, Roy. This season he has been more consistent, has it not?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's give him that. And last season he had a good, very, very, very good half season. And then what was it? After what tournament was it? The Nations League? After we won the Nations League?
Yeah.
Back and did nothing for 4 months.
Yeah.
This is Christian Pulisic as a player. I think a lot of it is, I see this guy as lacking that fire. You see it sometimes. You see it when he scores the goal against the Mexican national team. He pulls his shirt up and he shows the man in the mirror. That's the Christian Pulisic I want to see every single week. And then you see him later in an interview where he looks defeated and quiet and he's disinterested. And it's just like, no, this isn't the one we need. We need Captain America. We need the guy that we were calling Captain America in that Nations League final that everyone was fired up to get behind. We don't see that personality consistently, and consequently, we don't see those performances consistently. He alternates between leader and performer and non-leader and just quiet guy, and it's just, be the leader this country needs. It's a lot of responsibility, but you make a crap load of money, my friend. So I don't want to hear this, oh, too much on my shoulders. You have chosen this career. You're an excellent player. Rise up to the occasion. Be that leader day in, day out. And I guarantee you those performances are going to be more consistent.
Well, I want to talk about both of these players because they're both two of the top players on the national team for sure.
Who's the other guy? I forgot who
Weston,
you even mentioned.
Weston McKennie, man. Weston McKennie, of course.
Sure.
So these are the two guys, right? That the rest of the team really is expecting a lot from these guys, right? And you know, and every single match they go out, and that's what happens. And then you look at even a guy like Weston McKennie again. We talk about the inconsistency. He was fantastic this match. You know, he's in the right places at the right times. A couple things he could have improved on, but this is a player that a lot of times is overlooked by his manager. And now the manager comes out and says, "Oh, I love this player," right? Because he has the ability to put in these type of performances. In the same matches, you see that Musa gets no playing time and Timothy Weah doesn't do a lot. And a lot of times for the national team, we'll see these matches where Tim Weah is the only player that looks good, and these two guys disappear. So exactly like you said, there's a lot of responsibility on these two guys. And I don't know what it is. That's what I'm trying to figure out is, you know, where is that? Where is that for them? Because we see they have the ability, and that's what gets so frustrating.
Yeah. And you know exactly what this national team needs. Every player on the national team knows it. Berhalter knew it. I'm sure Pochettino knows it as well. This team needs leaders. We're losing Tim Ream to age. And who is left? The two guys you just mentioned, Christian Pulisic and Weston McKennie. But if you were to say right now, Sahil, that are you comfortable with these two players being the leaders of this national team?
Am I comfortable?
Yeah.
Just because of the inconsistency. That's what I'm getting at.
Exactly. They're inconsistent, not only performance, but in their leadership skills. It is the most infuriating thing because that's not common. It's common to see a player who has a bad day, a good day, a bad day, a good day. That's common. But for them to change personalities so often, the way that they do, where one day it's Captain America, the next day it's, why is he the quietest? He's acting like Messi does during his dark years where he doesn't speak to the players. He doesn't rise up in the media. He doesn't say a word on the field. He's not instructing anyone, but he's not Messi. Yeah. And Messi has grown over the years, whereas Pulisic started to rise up, is kind of lowered, rise up again, and now he's a guy that I wouldn't even consider as a candidate for the captain of the national team because he doesn't have those leadership skills. He's not showing it. And I don't know what it is. I think it's just not natural to him. Yeah. So he's faking it, and then he gets tired of faking it, and he kind of resorts to what he is. He's a bit more of a, what's the word? Type A, type B,
type B, type B, and there's nothing wrong. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think you know, and that's the thing. I think, look, at the end of the day, I've said numerous times, we are huge fans of the U.S. men's national team. We're, you know, proud of our country, and we need to, you know, support the team. It's just these players who have the talent, right? And we see it last week. We've seen it, right? It's really important now, moving forward in the Pochettino era. It's really important that we see this on a more consistent basis because we know it's there, and hopefully Pochettino can unlock that. That's all we can say at this point in time.
I hope he holds them accountable to be that. I think we need a coach who's not going to forgive, who's not going to let him, oh yeah, just be you, do your thing, let's build the vibes. No, that's going to hold these players accountable. Hey, you are my captain. This is what I expect from you. This is what I need from you for this team to succeed. Yeah. If Pulisic can't do that, then let's find someone else to do that. I think the closest is the guy that will probably, you know, miss 2 years every time he plays 3 games for the national team. That's Tyler Adams. This guy just cannot stay off the injury bed. It's unbelievable how fragile he is, and it's unfortunate. I hate criticizing a player for being injury prone, but it's just sad as a national team fan.
Yeah,
that's
such
a phenomenal player who could be that leader. I like him. He's tough. He's aggressive. He shouts. He gets fired up. He pushes his players. He fights the ref when the ref is unjust to our team. That's what we need. But we don't have it. We don't have it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I guess all in all, let's finish with this. But I'm sure this week was exciting, Roy, for you. Was it not give you some sense of optimism about the national team just seeing these performances?
I don't know. I'm a little bit jaded right now, to be honest. There's always that excitement inside of me. There's always that little fire ready to explode. And I think it's more Pochettino than their performances. Because last year we saw brilliant McKennie performances. We saw brilliant Pulisic performances. It didn't always translate to the national team. It rarely did, in fact. So still, at the end of the day, Pulisic is a great player for the national team. Is he consistent? No. But when he's on, he's amongst the best in history for this country. And we just got to hope he stays healthy. He develops those leadership capabilities. And he builds on that consistency he's building on in Milan right now.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to be excited about the U.S. men's national team. For our U.S. men's national team fans out there, let us hear your thoughts in the comments, and we will come back to you with another video. I will say it proudly today because I think they deserve it just based on the performance of this week. Go USA.